Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all of you. Okay, welcome back to International Logistics Management class. So today we will cover chapter 1, which is Introduction to International Logistics. Alright, by the end of the session, you should be able to define logistics and supply chain, explain the goals of logistics, and identify main and supporting activities in logistics.
Okay, before we start, I want all of you to scan this QR code for today's class attendance. So I will give you 30 seconds to scan this QR code.
Alright, so the first question of today's session, without logistics and supply chain, do you think we can survive alone? Okay, let's think and share your answer. So please scan QR code to write your answer. This one is one of the participation part for this course. Alright, please scan code. I will give you 30 seconds to scan this QR code. Alright. Okay, from this photo, you can see the aircraft production. Alright, normally as a user or passenger, we just can see the aircraft itself without thinking about how to produce aircraft. And now, as a logistics student, could you list down what are the materials to produce this aircraft? Okay, before it becomes aircraft, it is coming from raw materials, right? Okay, so what are the materials? Okay, try to think and illustrate. Maybe you can write down on paper. Okay, alright. These are definition of logistics and supply chain theoretically, as you can see starts from your first semester. Okay. So, logistics is the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the efficient, cost-effective flow and storage of raw materials in process inventory, finished goods, and related information from point of origin to the point of consumption for the purpose of conforming to customer requirements. While supply chain management or SCM is the integration of all activities associated with the flow and transformation of goods from raw materials through to end user, as well as information flows through improved supply chain relationship to achieve sustainable competitive advantage. Alright, that's the definition of logistics and supply chain. And I'm sure that you can describe or you can define logistics and supply chain management or SCM in your own words now, right? Okay, on your screen now, okay, you can see the supply chain or flow of the product from vendor to customer, which is priority to transportation activity. Okay, start from the bottom. Okay, from vendors, plants or ports. Okay, transportation will bring materials to the warehouse and to transit, okay, to transit the materials before the materials move to the factory by transportation. Okay, then at the factory, the materials are processed to become a finished goods or inventory. Alright, then it will be moved to the warehouse until it is distributed to the customer. Is it clear? Alright, so that's the flow of supply chain. Okay. Okay, here is the illustration of comparison between domestic and global logistics. Alright, as we can see, domestic flow is very simple. Just start from seller to a buyer using domestic transportation. Normally, it will use road transport. Okay, for global flow, you can see, for example, exporter needs to face so many parties to export goods. Okay, for example, to meet customs, to use forwarder service, to select suitable international carrier, to contact bank, and so on. So, are you ready to face all of these situations in your future career? If yes, it is the best program for you to study. To enter global market, what we need to know. The first one is political aspects in the host country. Okay, checks can be made to its ideology, nationalism, stability, and international relation. Okay, the second one is currency changes. It is very important because it helps to facilitate global transaction, including loans, investments, corporate acquisition, and global trade. Alright. The next one is proper use of documentation. There is specific documentation used in global market. So we will learn more about documentation in chapter 6 later. Alright. Number 4, the available options for marketing. Okay, normally business start with a low risk strategy and progress to the other strategies involving additional um, additional investment and risk. Okay, there are some options which are, for example, like exporting, joint ventures, what else? Licensing or franchising, direct investment, and so on. Alright. Then the next one is lead time difficulties. Okay, we need to consider many things when entering global market. Alright. For example, stockouts, unpredictable shipping delays, market demand, and so on. Alright. Next is logistic capabilities, like how far logistic activities capable in global. So what kind of logistic activities, like transportation, purchasing, packaging, and so on. Okay. Last but not least is rules and regulations, like contract integrity, employee security and rights, trademarks, and intellectual property, and many other aspects in global market. Alright. As for Malaysia, we have our own strength. Okay, the first one is strategic geographic location. Malaysia is one of the strategic geographic location. The second one is our economic growth is very stable. Okay. Then uh, regional supply chain linkage also good. Okay, last but not least is strength of transportation services. Okay, that's other strengths of our country. Alright. The next one is why we need to manage logistics. Okay, the answer is because of cost is very high. Even now, everything needs to use cost. Is it true? Okay, then customer nowadays are very demanding. Uh, Even we as a customer, we are very demand for what we want. Is it correct? Okay. And last, we need to manage logistics as logistics now is recognized as a main function in a company. Alright, we move on to the next slide. Okay. What are the differences between managing logistics locally and internationally? As we can see earlier, the flow of domestic and global logistics, there are some difference between the flow. Alright, so now I am very sure you can state at least 5 points to differentiate between managing logistics locally and internationally. Okay, for example, we can differentiate in certain aspects like distance, currency, transportation modes, packaging, infrastructure, and so many more. Okay, and then what are the goals of logistics? The first one is rapid response. Okay, company needs to react quickly for any changes and new development. Alright, then minimum variance, which is delivery time should be consistent. The third one is minimum inventory. As we all know, inventory is very expensive. Inventory is very expensive and need to be kept at a minimum. Okay, this is because to reduce total logistic costs. Okay, the next one is movement consolidation. Okay, logistics normally aims at cost reduction. What we need to do by consolidate small shipment into bigger shipment to reduce transportation costs. Okay, the next one is quality. Okay, logistics service must have quality. For now, total quality management or TQM become very important in industry. Okay, last but not least is life cycle support. Okay, the need not only to deliver a product but handle return product as well. Okay, for example, product recall. Okay, the next subtopic is regional logistics assessment. Okay, there are three assessments here that we need to cover in this chapter. The first one is geography. Geography is considered as location, like natural ports such as bay, which is one of the most valuable feature that any country can have. Okay. The second one is physical infrastructure, the things that we can see. Okay, the buildings and so on. For example, road, ocean, road, ocean port, and airports, and so many more. Okay, last but not least is legal business infrastructure. Okay, this one is rule of trade and commerce, custom officials, and legal enforcement for business contracts. Okay, the next one is logistics activities. Okay, there are so many logistics activities in this world. Okay, for example, the first one is transportation, which is very important for international trade. Okay, okay, the operation of transportation determines the efficiency of moving products. Okay, the progress in techniques and management principles improve to moving load, delivery speed, service quality, operation costs, the usage of facilities and energy saving, and so on. Okay. The second one is inventory management. Okay. Also called as stock items. Okay. As a component logistics, Inventory management manage the flow of goods from manufacturer to warehouses and from the facilities to point of sale. Okay. The third one is order processing, which if reflect order cycle time. Alright. The logistic activities start from the order processing. So this is the main activity actually. Okay. Which might be the work of the commercial department in an organization. Okay, the commercial department is the one who ensure the payment terms and the delivery terms has been met, and then processes the order from within the company. Okay, number four, warehousing. Okay, the important point in warehousing is that warehouse should be nearby to the dealer or distributor's place, and it should facilitate the easy delivery of goods. Okay, for example, LG and Samsung, these are consumer durable. These are consumer durable uh, companies which are present in multiple countries. Okay, their manufacturing might be at one point, but the distribution is all across the world. Thus, warehousing plays a huge role and is one of the important logistic activities. Okay. Next, number five, materials handling. Okay, materials handling is the movement, protection, storage, and control of materials and product throughout manufacturing, warehouse, distribution, uh, consumption, and disposal. Alright. Number eight, purchasing. Okay, purchasing is a key activity in logistics. It can significantly influence the overall success of a company depending on how it is managed. Okay, the goal of purchasing logistics is to control the supply in order to meet the needs of operational process. Alright, the second last is scheduling. Okay, schedule will make a wise classification of product between direct and stock. Okay, it will coordinate activities such as to schedule supplier deliveries with stock replenishments to CUs, and will group the product ordered to each supplier as to minimize the number of purchase order. Okay. Last but not least is maintenance. Okay, maintenance require proper planning and organization to ensure physical assets availability and reliability. Alright, these are parts of logistic activities, but there are so many activities in logistics actually. Okay, the next one is roles of transportation. The role of transportation is to get something to where it needs to be. Okay, transportation normally absorb between 1/3 or 2/3 of total logistic costs. Okay, it means that transportation is one of the important activities in logistics. Okay, we move to the next one, logistic entities. Okay, for the logistic entities, okay, the first one, shipper, or we call it as a consignor. Okay, um, shipper is company that owns or controls the freight. Okay, carrier, carrier, transportation. Carrier is a transportation company that moves freight. Okay, and last one is consignee. Consignee is an entity receiving shipment. Alright, we move to the next one. Okay, integrated logistics. What do you understand about integrated logistics? And even now, you are a student of Diploma in Integrated Logistics. Did you know that what is the meaning of integrated logistics? Okay, actually, there is no clear definition of integrated logistics, but integrated logistics can be defined as a unique business management process that governs materials, the flow of materials, information, and goods from the point of origin to the point of arrival, in which all management activities are interconnected and interdependent. As you can see in this slide, okay, so many activities here. So every activities are interconnected and interdependent to each other. Is it clear? All right. So that's integrated logistics. Okay. Okay. The reasons why logistics is now recognized as profession. The first one is computerization. Means logistics now has ability to manage large amount of information. For example, using information technology. Okay, the second one is quality management. Okay, company have been looking at ways to improve their operation. Logistics was one area that had been overlooked. Okay. Next, work with other countries to improve efficiency, which is called as partnership and alliances. Okay, so we will study more on this in last chapter for this course. Alright. So lastly, deregulation, which is certain part of logistic activities are heavily regulated, prevented them from engaging cooperation with customer. This is include railroad, railroad, ocean shippers, and airlines. Alright. Okay, it's time to evaluate yourself. Okay, write down on the same paper. Okay, with a suitable example, how supply chain and logistic how supply chain and logistics are interrelated. Okay, maybe you can illustrate, maybe you can draw some lines about uh, how logistics and supply chain are interrelated. Alright, the next question that you need to evaluate yourself and you need to answer. Okay, do you think we have capability in logistic or supply chain? Okay, okay, for this one, I will share in Google Classroom for you to add on your knowledge and for you to read. Okay, later I will post it on Google Classroom. Okay, last for today's session is there are some questions for you to answer and complete before the session ended. All right. Uh, the first question is define logistic and supply chain management. The second question is what are the goals of logistics? At least you uh, state or explain three goals of logistics. Okay, number three, why transportation become very important when the company go international. Question number four, how do you assess a country whether they have a good logistic system or not? What are the factors to be assessed? And last, describe main activities in logistics. So as we have learned just now, so many activities, so many logistic activities. You just pick five. Okay, five activities. Okay, you just pick five activities. Okay, so I think that's the end of this video. I really hope that you will gain something um, for today's lesson, and I really hope that you will gain something for today's session. Okay, if you have any problem, please ask and reach me on WhatsApp group. By that, thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.